A 2 for 2 Sunday. I'm going to hit play. Mind your ears. Forget where audio last hits here. I'm also going to have to move this. There we go. Of the Devil. Episode 2. We just recently finished episode 1. Excellent episodes 0 and 1, I should say. And I'm very excited for 2. I've actually heard episode 2. I've heard through the grapevine that episode 2 is another fantastic episode, if not even more fantastic. So consider me excited. This is how excited I am. Conveyed through mouse movements. But yeah, just probably like a 4-hour stream here. Like I said, I'm probably just going to try to bounce like 2 hours and then 2 hours of Titanium Court after this. And then we'll have our Sunday nights to ourselves. Get ready for the week ahead. Oh boy. Ooh, ah. Ooh, ah. Do I need, episode 2. You can choose to play episode 2 in High Roller mode. In High Roller mode, you're limited to 1 save slot, and you won't be able to reload your saves while inside the courtroom. Wait, you can't reload saves while in the courtroom? That was probably a condition in the first one, and I just didn't realize. So what would happen? What happens if you save inside the courtroom? And then what if you save inside the courtroom and then you die due to chips? Like you run out of chips. I'm sure there's some easy explanation for what happens. Either one of two things. Either you die and then you can reload your save and that's technically not inside the courtroom, or it just makes you restart the whole trial thing. Because I was saving out of fear in the courtroom in episode 1. All I'm saying is I gotta put my fucking thinking. I gotta not have a moment like we did in episode 1. It's really on me. It's really on me not to be a complete fuck up. Quick saving and autosaves will be disabled as well, so remember to save regularly. Learned that the hard way in episode 1, guys. The minimum, I almost said auntie. The minimum ante for hands will be increased. The minimum and maximum penalties for answering incorrectly during trial gameplay will be increased. But the maximum ante will be increased as well, allowing you to earn the largest possible high score for credit in this episode. Completing this episode in High Roller Mode will also unlock an exclusive phone charm that can't be earned any other way. You can turn High Roller Mode off at any time in settings, but in order to turn it back on, you'd have to restart the episode. Right. This episode contains time-sensitive choices. You can double their duration or disable them entirely in the settings menu. This episode contains testimony segments. Objectionable words or clauses will become red when you prepare to call on them. Oh, are we getting closer to, like, the exact, like, Danganronpa formula, maybe? Is that what that means? This episode contains testimony segments, objectionable words. Objection! I guess I said Danganronpa, but I guess the most direct parallel would be Phoenix, right? Words or clauses will become red when you prepare to call on them. This additional hinting can be disabled in the settings menu. You can adjust either of these features at any point without affecting your high roller status. High roller mode is intended to encourage risk-taking and discourage save scumming. Consider enabling it if you want to pursue this mystery like a true gambler. Oh, you know me, such a big gambler. Oh, I made mention of this in the first episode, but I just even like this UI thing. It's such a nice look. It's so clean. For the perfectionist, limited to 1 save slot, loading prior saves is disabled during trials. Play like a real gambler. Yes. 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 Me, the high roller. If there's one word I would describe myself as in life, it'd be a gambler / high roller. Welcome to the high roller tables. Enjoy the thrill. Disable tutorials, you can turn them back on in settings. I think we can disable, yeah? Unless it means... I always forget. Let's just enable. I'm fine with send through. On the off chance something new pops up and I don't want to be left like a fucking idiot, you know? Alright, here we go. Episode 2. I'm excited. First question's an easy one. Who's your senator? Mathing's piece of shit still trying to lie to our faces. Oh. Mathings is our senator, man. What, still? Shit. Hey, wake up. From the top, I guess. What is your name? Ikari. Yeah. Ikaria. What year is it? 28. 6. What did you say last time? 2027? Maybe this stuff's finally working. Dog does know how to shake. You could go... Again in the head. One thing I said, one thing I asked. Anywhere but the head. Not my fault he's got a punchable face. So we calibrated yet or what? No. But we're as close as we're gonna get with equipment this old. I'm gonna get to the real questions, or does he need more softening up? I just said, I won't soften him up in the head. How about it? You still with us, Hound? I'm gonna feel a migraine hit you like a tram in a few seconds. Do me a favor and hold on to the pain. Let go, and the barbitacine will drop you like an anchor. Hope I said that right. Don't want you a vegetable, right? Yeah, that's the spirit. Knew you were a fighter. Question 1. Do you know why you're here? Oh, the intrigue. Because you're too spooked to do this over a line? I'm always the right amount of spooked, Red. When I tell you there's heat, I mean it. I know, and I always listen. See? Breathable layers. Oh, new outfit, dude. She's looking dope. I like the red jacket, like red vesty jacket thing. I don't know how to describe clothing. She looks great. God damn it. You laughed. Doesn't mean I conceded the point. You're lighter. You memorized the map? You kept it pretty vague, but yeah, I think... I got the gist of it. You're that worried about a paper trail? Proactive analytics. Can't read. Proactive analytics just won a state contract for new trialing algorithms that can de-anon an entire city block's crumbs in less than an hour. Oh yeah, so do we have Oh yeah, I forgot I changed the charm. You got to use the charm, the extra charm that you worked so hard for in episode 1's high roller mode. Internet of Things. Internet of Things refers to the network data sharing that goes on between all the countless electronics we monitor ourselves with. Phones, computer security, biofeedback. I think we probably read this. Yeah, it's a thing about the crumbs. I think we're fine on that. Also, I'm going to just save... Alright, cool. Didn't you read the financial section today? I'm more of a Sudoku gal. We can't all be as well read as Reinhard Diamani. Diamani. That's a cool name. I'm sending you the links. Read them. And the rest of the news, too. Proposition 492 is going to be on the ballot this year. Shouldn't vote on it blindly. For a guy who makes the majority of his living operating outside law, you should take your civic duties seriously. Information brokering is illegal. What people choose to do with my advice. Do you declare the income for it on your taxes? Sorry. I promise take a look at what you sent over. How can you be this calm? A chance like this doesn't come around. Well, ever. Frankly, I'm still surprised they were willing to put up the funds it took to commission this thing. What do you think changed? Nothing ever changes in the lower wards. Is what I would say if I was feeling dramatic. Heartbreak made organized crime look like a bunch of cowards hiding under rocks. Is what I would say if I was feeling comedic. Don't joke about heartbreak before sending a woman off into lower wards by herself. Because you're such a delicate flower in need of protection. How about you start feeling analytic and give me your real answer? Fine. In my humble opinion, The Rust made the first move. Demand for the products has gone up, so they set to work with their syringes and cleavers and vans. Mobile chop shops hunting for product to fill the supply gap. Supply gap? You can't spit without it landing on a Vitruvian clinic. How's the biggest it's ever been? What mods aren't being printed to demand? No, that was Morgan. It's replacement parts, not the mods at the Rust harvest. Vitruvian, How, and all the others aren't interested in helping you fix a faulty pump. They just want to sell you a whole new model. The Rust might not always be pretty to look at, but even law-abiding citizens will gladly swallow their distaste for a discount that steep. A lot of modders are veterans, not easy prey. Correct. Hence, the Rust stockpiling weapons. And in response, the blue blood sensing escalation. That's just my hypothesis. I ever got pulled into an alley and wake up missing a kidney? Call it a formal theory. It's not like we're talking about a weapon of mass destruction. What makes the blues think they can win a gang war with it? Maybe they found the right soldier to wield it. The idea lingers in the air for a moment as I gaze out the window. Windows and neon and advertisements galore float up past us like bubbles of air as we make our descent down into our beautiful city's scenic lower wards. How does this part go again? Through me, the way to the city of woe. Through me, the way to eternal pain. Starting off early, can't read. Through me, the way among the lost. Oh, it's permissiva nella Inferno, Canto 3. You need to hear me try to read another language. I can barely speak English. I can barely read English, I mean. We know mods. We're familiar with that. Rust. The domestic criminal organization known as the Rust is more accurately described as a loose collection of smaller gangs and racketeering operations that formed out of necessity rather than any particular shared value. Broad powers granted to the state and law enforcement to address civil unrest during the 60s meant that small to medium-sized criminal organizations could not survive on their own, as virtually all their members could be detained indefinitely if one or more members was suspected of racketeering under new laws that classified gang activity as terrorism. While the Rust has evolved since its chaotic initial formation, the spirit of it lives on in the highly diverse culture of the Rust component cells, or pods. Law enforcement officials disagree on whether the Rust meets the definition of a criminal organization, as many argue that the gangs that make it up are capable of operating completely independently of one another. Some hypothesize that the Rust serves merely as a shadow on the cave wall, tending to make smaller gangs' patterns of violence seem like well-organized planning. As it stands, the Rust is known for its black market operations in illegal and illicitly sourced mods, offering military-grade or foreign-produced mods to civilians. They are particularly known for regularly assaulting and ripping mods out of their victims for resale. Historically, the Rust has been associated with elevated levels of gang violence, earning themselves a fearsome reputation that has, fortunately, limited their ability to assimilate themselves into other segments of society. However, in People vs. Harmony K Systems, Harmony K. The state alleged that Harmony K had on numerous occasions employed the Rust as a kind of extra-legal mercenary force when pursuing aggressive market negotiations with their competitors. The case was ultimately settled out of court for an undisclosed penalty amount, but misinformation has persisted ever since, claiming that the Rust has endured despite its violent tendencies due to being sheltered from consequences by corporations who contract the Rust as deniable mercenaries. Morgan. Yep. We're familiar with Morgan. Our third episode in. Public Works, construction head to ballots. Let's read these. With elections coming up, a number of measures related to infrastructure, public works, and funding for city programs will be on the ballot soon. Read on to get an overview of some of the most hotly anticipated issues you'll be able to vote on in the coming months. Proposition 436.2D, petition for City Council to commission cost analysis on public schooling. For the last several decades, all education has been handled through private institutions, typically associated with one or more corporate benefactors. While this has eased the expense of childcare and pre-university education for many families, some citizens regularly voice concern over children being treated as customers first and students second. There are several schools throughout the city that accept students at no cost to their parents, but these are relying on government subsidies, introducing the potential for waste and corruption, and are generally seen as subpar environments for learning. If enough voters say aye to this petition, City Council will commission a study to evaluate the cost and feasibility of reintroducing direct public schooling to the city. Funding of Atlas Pillar rejuvenation projects. Voting aye on this measure will direct City Council to fund the renovation and reinforcement of multiple Atlas pillars around the lower wards, paid for by percent increase in sales tax within city limits. Atlas pillars act as stabilizing points for the city's canopy, super infrastructure, and house all the largest public transit elevators that allow foot traffic to seamlessly flow between the canopy and street level. Measures generally viewed favorably by representatives from the lower wards who acknowledge that the necessary construction will be disruptive, but point to language in the proposition that guarantees easing of zoning restrictions around the pillars as vital to reducing unemployment in target regions. Previous comparable proposals for renovated city pillars north of the park have been touted as successful examples. Studies have shown that poverty is down and citizen satisfaction is up in the surrounding areas. Some number of city council members representing uptown districts have voiced skepticism about these economic benefits, but none have argued against the architectural reality of the canopy's need for additional structural reinforcement. Which exactly of the city's older Atlas pillars will be targeted for this rejuvenation has yet to be disclosed. Past experience has shown that, due to the nature of vertically integrated real estate, property values in the lower ward can either skyrocket or even drop into the negative based on which pillars are rejuvenated, and the city is wary of disrupting the real estate market in the lower wards with rampant outsider-funded speculation. Renaming Atlas pillars to honor local community figures. Nickname the pillars of the community project in the headlines. Prop 493 seeks to rename the Atlas pillars around the city after local leaders and national figures. Replacing the current system where pillars are given alphanumerical designations based on the streets they're built atop of. Few members of City Council have spoken explicitly for or against the measure, but polls showed general support among the citizenry, with some questions about how the new names will be chosen. Atlas was originally an internal name for the super infrastructure constructs, but leaked blueprints and contractor word of mouth spread the moniker. It has become rooted itself in the culture in the years since, despite having what the mayor at the time reportedly described in private as an ominous ring to it. Commission of report on victims of acid snow. The acid snow incident sits prominently at the forefront of the public conscience following the Greyfall documentary that premiered earlier this year. Previously underreported on, while the industrial accident did not create snow and did not in fact add acid to the atmosphere. The film's eyewitness accounts of the scarring children received that early morning nearly 2 decades ago as they played in what they thought was an unseasonable snowfall had spurred public outcry. If this proposition receives enough eyes at the ballot box, the city will commission a full investigation of the victims of the incident, including assessment of damages for what could be one day be a public fund for medical treatment. Critics of the proposition argue that after 20 years, few of the victims will still be residents of the city, assuming they can be found at all. Others point to the state lawsuit Gendu Chemicals settled 15 years ago as sufficient compensation for the victims. That was one of the conditions of that settlement. Gendu did not admit any fault or wrongdoing on the part of corporate leadership. That's a lot, but we read. Welcome to the underworld, Dante. Sometimes hot, sometimes misty, sometimes choking with poison, always dark. That the official forecast? More accurate than whatever's on your phone. Between the skyscrapers, the generators, the turbines, and the canopy, every city block's got its own climate down here. 9 circles of fresh hell. If you get the reference, say something. Don't make me feel crazy for 5 minutes so you can feel smart for 5 seconds. The smog of the lower wards lingers on your skin long after you make the climb back out. This place clings to you, unwanted, cloying attachment. But there's an honesty to all human interaction down here that makes it trivial for me to navigate. And it's got a nightlife rife with opportunities for someone with my particular interests. Sorry I couldn't get you anything else to work with. It was short notice. I know better than to bet against you by now, Red. But still, sweet of you to worry. But this is a surefire thing. Spoken like a true addict. I mean it. I'm here for business, not pleasure. I don't plan on leaving anything to chance. Avoid the populated streets. Turn away from brightly lit spots. Follow the trail of graffiti and broken cameras, past food stands at steam vents, down the rabbit hole. It sounds more complicated than it actually is in practice. It's easy to end up on the wrong side of town, as long as you're trying to. Reinhardt's map narrowed the search a lot more than I expected, but I'll be on my own from here on out. It's got to be one of these 3 buildings. So let's go over what I know. I'm looking for a base of operations for a mid-tier kind of pod. Rougher than a storefront, not as fortified as a headquarters. A location that makes customers feel safe, not trapped. Of course, if I was just started knocking on doors, they'll probably find me, with weapons drawn. So if I want to be smart about this, better use all my senses. The windows are all dark, like no one's home, but they're all shut too, so it could be that they're just tinted. Alley's clear. Fire escape's still there for the most part. Could pass for an alternate exit if need be. And that door looks sturdy enough to bounce a bullet off. Someone's been renovating. Well, this place looks like shit. Looks more like a haunt just dry enough for users to pass out and then anything else. It's plenty inconspicuous, but a dealer of the level I'm looking for would be considered a made man. Respectable. That they'd be willing to have to step over trash constantly just to keep a low profile. Bit cleaner than the other buildings around here. Could be someone spending money on upkeep. Or maybe this one's just been torn down and rebuilt the least. There are a couple bodies lingering around outside it. They don't exactly have that organized criminal associate edge. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. A lot of pods will pay civilians good money just to keep their eyes open. It's certainly dark. But there's a camera out front, and it's not broken. Overall, it's probably just some mechanic garage that shuts down the power to save money at night. Okay, might as well pull the trigger. Dingy, but not a shithole. Some secure features, but the paint's not too shiny. Goldilocks takes it. This is my best bet. But why? Why do I feel like I'm being watched? Oh, do I need to hit the button again? Ooh. Excuse me? Hey. Great acting. You're supposed to be the lookout? Red Hood. What'd you say? People come down here to be anonymous, or the closest thing to it in the modern day. It's considered poor etiquette to stare at anyone for more than a moment. It's a faux pas to make an effort to remember someone. Commenting on another's dress isn't a slap to the face, but it is odd. How do I hide UI? Is it, this? Yeah. I'm kind of digging the outfit. I like the bag. I like the big coat thing. I like the hat. Go away. Question mark. I should have read it like, go away. At least it can take direction. Whatever. A lookout being around just confirms that I've picked the right building. Time to try the door. What'll make them open up? I'm gonna knock. No answer? Should I have tried knocking in a pattern? Shave and a haircut. The standard knock pattern. No, that'd be silly. I'm not offering money. Hey! You open? Maybe not for me. I have money! Actually, I have a dark card. I should have provoked a reaction. A grunt, footsteps, something. I place my hand against the door absent-mindedly, ready to move to plan B, and I feel movement. Locks being checked, perhaps a doorknob palmed. Anxiety and curiosity pit against one another by an onlooking greed. How do you enter a closed room? First you try pushing. When that doesn't work, naturally you... Forget it. I'll find some other... No need for master keys or any other trickery. If you know what you're doing, doors will open for you. Like magic. Let me get that orca term. Orca. Organized criminal associate. Organized criminal associate is the label most widely used within law enforcement for individuals who are members of criminal organizations, supplanting terminology used during the first half of the 21st century in accordance with changes to the organization of, recruitment for, and internal culture within organized crime. Frequently abbreviated with some artistic liberty as orcs, or the most common orcas, law enforcement professionals often use related nomenclature when discussing organized criminal activity in informal settings. For example, an orca may also be referred to as a killer whale, Kale, or KW. A group of orcas may be called a pod, while a known gathering place may be labeled a den. The door's not the only thing that's been reinforced around here. This apartment building, motel, whatever it used to be, someone's made a lot of effort to file it down. Hallways blocked off with chicken wire and stripped furniture, access panels ripped out, doors welded shut. They took a maze and ground it down into a one-way street. Or maybe a shooting gallery? With blaring musical accompaniment? Don't get any ideas. Got no vacancy. And here I thought I found my dream home, mister. Call me Trey. And too bad, we're closed this month. Wait, you're serious? You rent these out? Of course we do. This is business. Right, and you, see a lot of demand? This is lower wards, bitch. He sighs the word without emphasis, like a subconscious honorific. Oh. I gave it too much emphasis. I'm not honored, but I can't find it in myself to be offended either. Tons of stray ducks will pay top for a site to lay low a night or two. I can see why. This is the hallway. The rooms are clean. Sure. Look, the doors are heavy, locks are all physical, and it's quiet. So this is safe house for rent? Safe rooms for rent. But like I said, we're not open for business right now. Curious. Curious? Come on, up the stairs already. And no mask when we get up there. And curious, sir? A good mask is like a good pair of boots in the lower wards. Keeps you clean, keeps you moving, makes your journey a dozen times more comfortable. And if you leave the house barefoot, you can expect to bring back something unsavory attached to you. It's not odd for him to be barefaced, but demanding that I not wear mine is... Seriously, stuff it in your pocket now. Fine. Won't be a problem. Good. Lose the gloves, too. So that's their game? This isn't a power move, it's insurance? If this place ever gets busted, evidence of my visit will be all over the place. They're giving their customers extra incentive to make sure this shithole remains a hidden gem. A reasonable idea on their part, but it doesn't change my answer. I'm gonna middle refuse. That's not happening. Bitch. 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 I'm trying to... I went again with the emphasis. Probably... Whatever. Whatever. Have fun explaining to the boss why you can't follow basic instructions. That does sound fun. Watch it. You're a guest here. A guest? I'm a paying customer. And if you try to get me to remove any more articles of clothing, I'm leaving a scathing review. You haven't paid yet. Come on. Right behind you. Through here? Yeah. Hey, I'll get the door. Ha! Question mark. I like the looks. Now, am I reading too much into it? Are these the colors of the question marks that were at the very beginning as well? I'm trying to remember what the colors during the opening scene were. Oh, look at all these people. Howdy. Where the hell did you find her? Must have fallen out of the canopy like ripe as shit fruit. Because if she didn't fall out of the damn sky, I mean Trey opened the door for her. Right, Trey? Tanks, come on, How hard is it not to open a goddamn door? Well, she has... Shut up. The others aren't fazed by his volume. This is normal. Big guys always like that. But his outburst is giving me a moment to take in the scenic view. Let me see these. Sungmin Trey Trench. Date of birth, April 2nd. Blood type, O positive. Occupation, freelancer in quotes. Vending machines, skate parks, ice chip likes. Rich kids, dried food, cops, dislikes. Loitering, 3 arrests, 0 convictions. Larceny, 2 arrests, 1 conviction. Truancy, no incidents on record. Tanks. Tanks. Tanks is such a fitting name. It feels like for that sprite. August 11th, date of birth, A negative. Blood type. Occupation, handyman in quotes. Likes parkour, spray paint, and stainless steel. Dislikes beer cans, water stains, and cops. Assault, 2 arrests, no charges pressed. Grand theft, 3 arrests, 2 convictions. Incarceration, 18 months. Juvenile correction. Null. Campus. I think I already read this, but his outburst is giving me a moment to take in the scenic view. Brings a tear to the eye. You? Me? Who else? Hit that. A cigarette? It's laced with drugs. Or don't. I love an excuse to kick your ass back down the stairs. They think I'm a cop? They think I'm a cop and cops can't use drugs when undercover? I could quote them the exact law that invalidates this legal defense, but I gather that wouldn't assuage their concerns. Well, what's it gonna be? I'm gonna be chill. I'm gonna be chill with it. I'm accepting. Don't mind if I do. I love free shit. Hey. Damn, bitch, breathe. What you offered. Trey, who the hell is this red bitch? You trying to jinx us? She's a customer? I know she's a customer. We get customers every other day of the goddamn year. Why'd you have to bring her in here tonight? There we go. This is it. I found the place. Creek, she's got... Look at me. Don't talk to Creek. Talk to me. She's got a dark card. Whistle noise. I can't whistle on command. Well, let me try. Let me wet my lips. That's the best I can do, but I can't control my whistle. My mouth doesn't work like that. Whistle and just read it. I ran the cereal downstairs. Scanner got hot like a hand warmer trying to crunch it, so it's legit, right? Dark card, huh? I nod. Hard not to start playing a little more conservatively once you know the stakes. Whatever the specifics of their leadership structure, they're all looking to this Creek right now. But I don't know his rhythm yet, so I can't exactly match it. For the moment, silence is golden. Yeah, but tonight, Creek, with all the other shit we were expected to shovel. Hey, shouldn't make talk like that in front of the customer. Customer? You think the word was old toothpaste the way he spat it out. Translation, outsider. Thanks, yeah, Miller, I know. All the more reason we should tell this bitch to get slagged. Look, she's here now, so why not take her money? You know what? Got a better idea. Apply directly to the forehead. The loud one, Tanks, is pressing a barrel directly into my forehead. Why not take her for all she's got? The metal feels cool in my skin. Reminds me of a stethoscope. Breathe in. And try not to sigh at the theatrics. Instead, I make eye contact with Creek. Hey now. You can put that away. He reholstered his firearm without so much as a click of the tongue. Mid-tears, like I thought. They've got something approaching discipline. Mind the safety? Get screwed. So, we good? We're good. We are good, right, Creek? Threading a thin needle, lady. A lot of moving parts beneath the surface here. Give me a minute to clear my schedule for you. Make yourself at home in the meantime. Just don't hover, yeah? Of course. You won't even notice I'm here. Heavens Miller Smiles. October 6th birthday. Blood type B. Occupation tradesman in quotes. Likes horror films, bubblegum, terrariums. Dislikes bookies, gin, and cops. 4 arrests, 4 convictions, vandalism. 2 arrests, 0 convictions, extortion. Littering, no incidents on record. Lakers, Creek, Kristoff. I like the nickname Creek for someone named Lakers. November 10th, O negative blood type, entrepreneur, in quotes. Likes making money, making friends, dislikes doctors. Grand theft, case dismissed due to lack of evidence. Extortion, case dismissed due to witness recanting. Pronouns any. Great. We scope. Did I interrupt a game? What's your poison? 5-card, full blind, Monaco rules? Are those games? We just screw around with whatever we got to kill time, lady. You know your stuff. You ever play around here? Now and then. The hell? You go slumming for card games? Now and then. Have I seen you at a game before? Maybe up by the 30s? Sorry, must have been some other redhead. Damn, thought I finally gotten my second chance at getting that beauty's contacts. You practice that one a lot? Practiced it a little. How's it working? Keep practicing. Damn. Smooth, Morgan. Unsmooth creeks. You doing inventory over here? Ouch. Must have caught you on the worst night of the quarter. Quarter? This ain't a meg operation, lady. We take our inventory daily. Torture. You gonna suggest we put it all down on a spreadsheet? Get everyone to sign off every hour? Got a special name for anything with more than one signature on it. A cricket case. He's corrupting the CRICO acronym a lot, but his risk assessment isn't misguided. Paperwork brings down more criminal organizations than guns ever will. Give a half-decent accountant one thread to pull on, and they can rip apart the mafia in less than a business day. Hey, what did Creek say? Don't hover. It's only hovering if I'm bothering you. Am I bothering you? If you were bothering me, you'd know it. How hospitable. Meg, we've definitely read before. Crico. The Combating Racketeer, Influence, and Corrupt Criminal Organizations Act provides for increased law enforcement powers and impunity when investigating and prosecuting organized criminal charges. The CRICO Act allows for prosecutors to link multiple individual charges of racketeering, contraband, smuggling, or other smaller infractions into criminal conspiracy charges against the entirety of a criminal organization. Though much of the law is built off of previous legislature designed to assist prosecutors in fighting organized crime, the CRICO Act is distinct in that it makes clear the distinction between criminal organizations and corporations that may be operating in violation of the law, considered necessary to adapt to changes in the drug trafficking, gambling, and sex work industries. Before the act, prosecutors would at times seek to designate corporations engaging in aggressive market or cartel-like behavior as criminal organizations, arguing that their structure does not significantly differ from what might be called a mafia. Post-CRICO, corporations with legal business charters registered with the state are effectively immune to criminal conspiracy charges and are instead prosecuted through the trade courts. Some of the more liberal-leaning members of the judicial system have argued that this emboldens certain aggressive corporate behaviors and complicates attempts to prosecute criminal organizations who make some amount of their profits through legally registered and operating businesses. Others point to the relatively higher penalties in the trade courts as sufficient deterrent for criminal activity on the behalf of either corporate or mafia parties. In criminal courts, sentences for individuals can be severe as life in prison, but in trade courts, guilty verdicts can result in entire companies being deregistered and all their assets being acquired by the state. Users also frequently search for how to avoid CRICO charges. Prisoner's Dilemma explained, is it illegal to gather with people? What? Nothing. You're just kind of glaring at me. It's my job to glare at suspect bitches like you. Tanks is just superstitious. Though I wouldn't call it a superstition until it stops keeping you alive. I'm not. Did I pass a black cow on my way in or something? It's your clothes. Again? Didn't know your fine establishment had a dress code. It's not a code. It's just bad goddamn luck to wear red. Bad luck to see red, man. Same thing. Nah, you see the red hood, then you fear for your life. Cosplaying as her is weird, but it won't doom you. Great, it'll only doom us. I don't think I've heard this particular ghost story, boys. Really? You're blending in so well. The Red River Hood, or Red Rider Hood? The Shinigami? Grim Reaper of the lower wards? Spot her on a misty night, end up dead by morning light. Come on, Creek. Don't start that shit when you don't even believe it. Don't have to believe it to have heard the rhyme. Never heard of the Red Rider Hood? Little girl in the fog in a big red raincoat? Missed it in the crossfire of a shootout between pigs and robbers. Wanders the ward seeking revenge. No, never. Thought even uptowners knew this stuff. You're gonna tell me you've never heard of the Cyberpunk or Little Lord next? Guess I don't have a good ear for this kind of thing. Or maybe you're just not as smart as you think you are, says the grown man, sweating because of a ghost story. How about I take extra care not to walk under any ladders for the rest of the night and we call it even? Walk under any... Where would you even find a... Oh, did you mean stepladder? Now who's afraid? You look pale as spit. Because for some reason, I just got the horrible feeling that I lost a bet. Cyberpunk, we definitely had missed. Slang term for meaning to shoot or to kill that originates from bloody spray. I think we got that too earlier. That door is nearly as sturdy as the one out front, but a lot more slapped together. What was it originally? At a walk-in freezer or something? What? No, we had an agreement about hovering. Yeah? Yeah. It's barred from this side. You good, buddy? Looking a little sweaty. Well, that's just because I was exercising before you showed up. Uh-huh. Bitch, you don't believe me. How do you think we defend... That was a question. Bitch, you don't believe me? Question mark. How do you think we defend what's ours down here? I assume the gun I was acquainted with just now played a role. Think we can afford to break the bank on bullets? It's easy to buy a gun. Pulling the triggers. Also easy. Like kissing it goodbye. It'll rat you out first chance it gets. An aversion of firearms would explain the relatively low fatalities for gang-related violence. The big names can afford to buy a new gun every week, but for everyone beneath them, it comes down to crowbars, clubs, knives, and mods. Well, I'm sure y'all do very well in your fistfights. Fistfight is juvie. Sounds like recess shit. Sorry, fisticuffs? Laugh it up. First time you hear the sound a steel arm makes caving a skull in, you'll get exactly how we operate. Right. Sorry. Alright, come here. Pull up a chair. Let me ask you something before we get started. What was your first job? Waitress. Waitress. You remember this feeling? 9 p.m., diners filled out, doors close at 10. They'll start turning off the grills, taking out the trash, settling down, and then some mouth breather comes in at 9:40 with big blank eyes expecting you to find him a table. Yeah? Yeah. Asshole behavior. Not breaking any rules, can't arrest him, can't shoot the guy, even if you wanted to. So, related note, you're here to buy. Paying customer, happy to have you. Just read the room, okay? Sure. And no haggling. Now what are you here for? Well, can't be honest about that. Time to build a story. This Creek seems less high-strung than the others. He must have a few years and a couple promotions under his belt. He might be on the 3rd floor at the moment, but in spirit, he's still on the street, earning. Everyone above him is in more managerial positions. He's in between crowds, isolated, and he seemed entertained by my poke at the big guy. Putting that all together, I'm not actually here for myself. Truth is, I can't hear anything over the damn screen. I grab the remote sitting on the edge of the desk and turn off the screen. That's better. The hell you do that for? It's too loud. We like it loud. Screws with bugs and wires and cops. Are you a cop? Keeping it at that volume could damage your ears. You'd end up yelling all the time. Relax, Tanks. Cut her some slack. She smoked enough of your shitty roll to... I was gonna say fall over, but you seem... sober? Me? You got chrome lungs or something? I've just always had a very high tolerance for that kind of thrill. You can do a bunch of drugs and not even enjoy it? Shit, must have been popular in school. Not exactly. But clearly I'm not invincible. Never talk about myself if I wasn't at least a little stoned. My bad. We usually pride ourselves on not giving a shit who our customers are. Thanks for making me the exception. Now, like I was saying, I'm actually here for someone else. My boss, to tell you the truth. Huh, it sucks. Does your regional manager want a made-to-order heart attack at his retirement party or something? You're not that far off. His son's turning 18, and he wants a party. An organic party. How's that supposed to mean? Hell if I know. But a coworker let slip that I smoked a few times in college. So boss goes and hands me his dark card, slaps me on the rear, and sends me down here. Told me to get everything his son needs for the best graduation ever. Huh, that's rough. Pretty lady like yourself shouldn't be stuck running errands at this hour. Not in this part of the city. It's not safe. Speaking of which, Miller? Stand up. Raise your hands. I oblige, but the lanky one keeps staring at me oddly, looking me up and down. It's not complimentary. He's searching for something. See, normally, I would never be this poor of a host to such a nice customer, but bosses, right? Yeah. Might have been real micromanaging lately. It's kind of becoming a problem. So, we're taking a little more care around new faces. Tucked inside her jacket, round the left pocket. His eyes aren't modded. Did I give it away with my body language? Something you want to share with the class? Forgot I had that, maybe? Yes, I have a knife on me. Should I have declared that on my papers? Would have been the polite thing to do, yeah. Sorry for the poor manners, but a pretty lady like me, this part of town, guess I was just being careful around new faces. Alright. You're letting her keep it? Got you here to protect us. Have to wonder, though. Why'd a high-power corporate mover shaker come in person? Why come to us? Why not go across Skywalk over to the nearest Icaria-owned dispensary? Cagey tonight, aren't we, boys? Hell are they suspicious for? And who are the Icaria? I assume Icaria? Yeah, it's gotta be Icaria. Probably not Icaria. iCarly? Icaria. 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 The name sounds vaguely familiar, but, well, I can read between the lines. They're the competition. So if these blue bloods are being this cautious around a paying customer, I can shame them over it. I mean, sure, everyone knows the Icaria have taken the lion's share of the city. I just didn't realize that they had a monopoly too. Hey, get it straight. The Icaria won't be on top anymore once we... Never mind. Can we not do business? No one said that. So what'll it be? Well, don't want any of these kids choking on their own foam. Even if it'd be funny to watch. I figured I'd just buy a bunch of downers and maybe a handful of uppers. Let half of them get high off the atmosphere. Downers, huh? We got the new titration of lime, lasts for hours. Yeah, they can stir it into their watered down beers. Wait, new titration? No one's gonna shit themselves, are they? No. Not until the morning, at least. Alright, well, I can live with that. What do you got on the other end? Got plenty, long as they don't mind hippos. Hypodermics? I feel like these baby shark types would get nervous around needles. You got anything they can inhale? Well, got a lot of nerve. Fast bump, high plateau, and a smooth ride down. Our best seller. Sounds great. Unfortunately, it's in high demand, so... I get that he's selling me drugs, but does he really have to sell me drugs? Hey, it's not my card anyway. Charge it. Gladly. Typing away at his tablet like this, he almost looks white collar. Checks out, right? The serial's legit, so... Yeah, man. You already said that. It's encrypted, Trey. It's not meant to be a one-tap purchase. Dark card. The gold standard of untraceable fund transfer among the criminal and financial elite. Your average citizen wouldn't recognize it as anything special. Looks like any other credit or debit card. Only reason I recognized it is because they got flashed all the time back at my apprenticeship. Mostly for drawing lines, but sometimes for purchasing. Hard to convert the funds back into cash, but if you want to buy or sell in the black market, you couldn't ask for better. Let me go into the terms here. Blue blood? The International Criminal Organization, most commonly known as the Blue Bloods, originated in the early 21st century as an offshoot of Eastern Hemisphere triads that subsumed various dock workers' unions. Loosening international corporate regulations and decreasing job opportunities at the time made it difficult for traditional unions to gather and maintain bargaining power. I almost said bargaining. Simultaneously, many triads struggled as increasing nationalism around the globe, combined with improvements in border security, made the profit margins for smuggling smaller and smaller, even as demand for foreign goods went increasingly unmet. Historians and criminologists debate on the exact origin of Blue Bloods, and even among ex-members, there remains debate about whether which side approached which, or when the Blue Bloods became a distinct identity. What is agreed upon is that by the mid-21st century, the Blue Bloods were a significant presence in every major trade port around the world, smuggling goods across borders and extorting multinational corporations by threatening to withhold or destroy merchandise as they entered the country. Domestically, Blue Bloods seem to have given serious consideration towards legitimizing their activities for a time, acquiring legal charters of business for many of their shipping and security operations during the 2050s. The same time period also saw a cooling of hostilities between the Blue Bloods and many of their rivals, with gang-related violence dropping precipitously. Civil disruptions and suspected changes in leadership during the 60s, however, reversed this trend. While the Blue Bloods remain a major player on the global criminal trafficking market, their status of criminal concern was officially downgraded to moderate by the state during the 2070s. Most criminologists agree that their national presence is now relatively weak and has remained so for long enough that the organization's broader global leadership is likely uninterested in expending the resources it would take to change the status quo. Nirvana. Metahexafenol is a illegal stimulant sold in black markets as a recreational drug under the street name Nirvana, sometimes shortened to Nerve. When taken as an inhalant, it is a euphoriant with mild hallucinogenic properties. In recent months, its growing popularity has led many to suspect that the drug is being assessed for legalization by the Bureau of Narcotics Oversight. The process of considering a drug for legalization is kept strictly confidential in order to prevent rampant speculation in the pharmaceutical market. However, increase in the sales of the precursor chemicals for making metahexafenol seem to indicate that producers are anticipating its legalization nonetheless. The relative obscurity of said precursor chemicals has made the uptake particularly noticeable, and supply has not been able to keep up with this elevated demand. Good. So what the hell is going on? I'm dangling some very enticing bait here. An amiable mark, spending money that's not her own, should be salivating over me. Instead, they're practically x-raying me. Why? Interesting decor. Finally, someone notices. It's nice, right? It's called cherry wood. Redid the paint myself with a finish I'd imported. It is a nice piece of furniture, Creek, but I was referring to your paperweight. Oh, yeah, that. You like it? I'm curious what happens if I say no. Sorry, can't say that I do. It's a bit martial for my taste. Have you considered giving it a polish? That'd be a crime. Oh. Polishing off the battle scars from a hard-won prize. Prize? It's not yours? Something I picked up on the job. Masculine voice, muffled, possibly gagged, and stifled as if pained. Seems like I'm not their only guest tonight. Really wish you'd left the music on, lady. Sorry, you say something? I completely spaced out just now. Didn't hear a word you said. Okay, that's okay. I didn't say anything. Guess you aren't so stupid you can't even mind your own business. Speaking of my business, how are we looking? Card's still processing. Sorry about that. Guess it takes time to snake a wire through enough pinholes that even the almighty state can't track it. Takes power too, apparently. Battery's plummeting. Ugh. Dark card. Almost more trouble than it's worth. Definitely didn't do its previous owner any good. Before I palmed it off his corpse. Damn. I still really love those. I just love those little script insert things. It's so stylish. Adds very nice emphasis. Anyway, Your boss must be a careful guy, delegating you to come down here with this. Yeah, maybe. Not very smart, though. He has no idea what any of this shit costs. Ah. If I treat myself after I finish here, it's not like he'd ever know the difference. Good on you, ripping off the bastard. A woman after my own heart. There it is. Now I just need 2 thumbs and a password for verification and we're golden. There a problem? Yeah. Is there a problem? No, no problem. Sorry, it's just something I heard. And what's that? That the Blue Buds had gotten something special in recently? Can't trust everything you hear out there. Or read. Or see. No, of course not. But is it true? No. A no mask? No? No? No. A no mask. Like the man said, you gotta be careful what stories you listen to. Come on, what could it even cost? A couple thousand? I wouldn't know. I'm no art appraiser. But I do know it's rare. Fun fact, no means talent. But I don't think that translation does it justice. Less than a dozen people on the planet who can make them. What's so special about it? I mean, them, if they exist, which they, don't? If you want a mask, you've already got one on your chin, lady. State puts up cameras, we put on masks. State adds layered scans, we wear helmets. High-tech climbs ladder, low-tech punches lower. Back and forth, up the escalators. But a no mask got tech that can't be answered. Scissors sharp enough to cut rock. Anti-facial recognition, fractalized active defense. Fractalized active defense. Any camera, scanner, or ad looks at that mask, they'll see a face. Within a face, within a face, within a face until fatal error. Forget hiding from cameras, searching for blind spots. We definitely read ad before. Whoop. Forget hiding from cameras, searching for blind spots. With a no mask, you can just walk down the busiest street in the city and brick every camera in half a kilometer. You know your stuff. Buyer beware. But if this mask could do half of what you think it could, anyone who got their hands on it wouldn't part with it easily. So how much? More than you can afford, that's for sure. I don't know about that. Got pretty nice stock options. Maybe you do have the money. That's not the issue. I can't sell it. It's already been spoken for. End of discussion. Well, sure, can't sell something that's been spoken for, but things get misplaced all the time. Delivery carriers showing up at the wrong address, missing packages ending up in the backs of storage facilities, merchandise falling off the back of the proverbial truck. We're sent here on some errand. Shit. What? What is it? Take a long look, boys, because you may never get another chance. We're breathing the same air as a genuine consultant. She's some kind of mega meg spy? I like that face. If I was, couldn't exactly come out and say, now could I? Oh shit. Is it really this easy? Yeah, that's real smart talk. Now, give me one reason I shouldn't paint your brains onto the wall. Because I still haven't paid for my purchase? Definitely got the nerves of a consultant. I teach you that in some fancy uptown corpo school? Or was it something you were born with? Something I was born with. Probably. But believe it or not, I'm glad we're having this conversation. Honesty always speeds up the negotiation. So in the spirit of cooperation, why don't you start being honest too? How's that? You don't want my money, traceable or otherwise. Only reason you'd entertain a customer while in the middle of whatever bottleneck you're keeping behind that door is because I have something rare that you desperately need. Don't assume desperation or need. How about want? You want the dark card account yourself, not whatever shitcoin currency it holds. And why is that? To steal from your bosses. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. They're the ones stealing from us. Yes, I'm sure that you have very legitimate grounds for a wage theft suit, but I don't care. Whether it's for running away, skimming off the top, or just as insurance, you want a wallet they don't have eyes on. And since your tall friend hasn't misted me yet, it seems like you're willing to barter for it. So, the card for the mask. Not even close. The card plus 2 quarters worth of my salary. That's nearly Nah, sister. You don't have the cash for this purchase. And it ain't the kind of thing you can get a loan from the bank for. I don't like it, but... Not cash, then. Might as well try it. What about information, instead? I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it would have to be one hell of a piece of intel. I could give you heartbreak. Pfft. What'd she say? Funny. That is funny. Heartbreak, the most famous anarcho-terrorist in the country, at some Meg's beck and call. Upgrade to anarcho-terrorist now. Lots of people are laughing very hard, having shorted the right stocks before each of his kills. Hold up, seriously? No. Why do people buy this conspiracy shit so easily? I don't get the joke. Why would we want heartbreak? To learn from him? Make an example of him? Hire him? You blue bloods have been fighting the Rust, the Ikaria, the state, and everyone who wants a piece for decades. Yet, heartbreak's gotten more notoriety than all of you combined in only a few months. There's really nothing you'd want to say to him? Nothing you'd want to ask him? If he was sitting right in front of you? The following scene contains... loud noises. Flashes of light. Depictions of violence and gore. Hell of a bluff. I'll give you that. Damn. I was so ready. I was ready for it. Thought it was worth a try. Sorry. Just procrastinated having to go back to my superiors empty-handed. Nah, it was good. Good effort. I mean, I'm still interested in the dark card. It's just... that mask is a death sentence, crafted specifically for one very special customer. I'm just the one given the honor of hanging on to it until... Sounds like you got your own office politics to worry about. Getting pulled in every direction. I know the feeling. That was a bunch of drama for nothing. She's gonna buy or what, Creek? Oh, I'm still buying. Not for some kid's party, obviously. Plan is, we're gonna spike the competition at this meet and greet. Make the customer think they're drooling idiots. The mask was always a long shot. I was just personally curious. Curiosity can get you into trouble down here at the bottom of the world. Don't worry. I like to think I know a thing or two about discretion. I can see that. Let's wrap this up then. Your password and your thumbs, please? Sure. Just take off my gloves here. Oh yeah. Make a snap with my right hand as my left extends towards the desk. Viewer discretion advised. Oh shit. Oh, we're back. It's a double tease. Real quick, before I forget, do you have a bag for all this? The hell? Only need to distract him for a second. Wait, let me see that log really quick. Real quick before I forget, do you have a bag for all this? Yeah, I actually got a few in this drawer. And then lights went out, I think. And then... oh. Oh, damn. Less than one heartbeat. Just easy. I did tell him to mind the safety. Huh? The big one made a small noise as he looked down to see that his own gun had blown a fist-sized chunk out of his torso. Damn. She's good. Holy shit. Boom. He jumped up fast. I was expecting to blow his head off. Oh, we are an hour in, and we are already pedal to the metal. Just right out the gates. With just fucking Morgan doing her thing. I was expecting to blow his head off. From behind, a motion, a shape charging towards me. Spinning left, I draw my knife, exhale, and lower my shoulders. There. A loudly broadcast haymaker swinging in from his right. Bad instinct. He must have gotten used to those sparklers making people flinch. I step in, and his bicep smacks dully onto my shoulder. As I place my knife directly into his carotid. Damn. He's gripping that knife with all the strength he has left. I'm making noises. Wait, is he really gonna try to pull it out? Someone's been stabbed. What do? When applying first aid to a puncture wound, remove the foreign object is not recommended, as this can greatly increase the rate of blood loss. Yeah, that's a mistake. Another bad instinct. Oxygen cut off to the brain. Already losing vision. Red. And dropped with all the grace of a garbage bag hitting the bottom of the dumpster. Now, I want to take a note and say, thank God we killed a bunch of characters, so I don't have to try to remember my shitty voices for everyone. It's that philosophy, like in a Danganronpa game or anything like that with a cast of characters, where I'm like, I really hope we start losing characters at a nice rate here, because I'm not gonna remember if they keep showing up later. we just gotta do away with them as quick as possible. My brain begs. And dropped with all the grace of a garbage bag in the bottom of a dumpster. So that just leaves. Hasn't moved a muscle. Newest member, weakest in pack. Personally, I wouldn't have given the new guy guard duty, but hindsight's 2020. The gun's double-barreled, 2 shots, spent. And Miller still has my knife in a literal death grip. I'll have to improvise for this last one. Oh, the blade. What the hell? Why not? Oh, cool. Oh, shit. Though, come to think of it, how do you use this thing? Aim for the bleachers, I guess. Oh, fuck. Oh, that's a strong opening. That's a strong opening. You gotta hand it to it. You gotta hand of the devil. I think that's his due. I think this episode is called His Due. Episode 2. Oh, there we go. His Due. Yeah, we get to see Morgan do her thing. Yeah, we love that. Barely got 3 centimeters into his neck. Must have hit a vertebrae and stopped dead. A vertebra. A vertebra? Still got the job done after a few whacks, but, well, it's my first time with a sword. And I've never been very good at anything the first time. I've always needed lots of practice. Okay, music should be should have deadened the sound of the gunfire. And that gun was heavily modified. If it somehow still has its tags, they can't possibly be functioning properly. So I've got a window of opportunity. First things first, gloves back on. Shit. Wow, someone's lively. You. Hell. Some kind of mod keeping him alive? A cruelty, under his circumstances. I could hear that slug tear his intestines apart. The pain alone should have knocked him out cold, yet his fingers are limp, his eyes sharp. Paralyzed? There are rules. I thought. Blood's pooling fast. You got 4 minutes. 4 minutes? For what? Everything. You're no mega assassin. You're too talkative. Who sent you? Fox? Gray Lady? All that red should have... You're the Rust's newest... Rabid dog? Caribou? It's cute how you all give each other nicknames. You're... civilian? Where's the mask? Huh? Go to hell. You just looked right at the desk drawer. Thought you said you played poker. Need your keys? Civilian thief? Theft is victimless. It's robbery when violence is involved. So you're just out of your goddamn mind. I'm the last person you'll ever talk to, Creek. Your choice, but do you really want to be rude? You seem like you can take it. Key clicks into the small safe and I pull open the door to reveal paperwork. Page after page of spreadsheets and diagrams and text, all printed in red. Is this important? Huh. So considerate. Nah, just throw it anywhere. Okay. I was joking. 3 minutes now. Sarcasm will cost you time you don't have. There it is, a gleaming darkness at the back of the safe. So that's it? You... all this? All of us? For what? Just for that? I get asked that question a lot. Oh, she's so cool, dude. Would you feel better if I'd killed you for a different reason? If I had a good reason for blowing a hole in your stomach? Would it have hurt any less? You still got more than 2 minutes. Plenty of time. I could spin up whatever fairy tale you'd like to put you to bed. I bring the mask to my face, and for a brief moment the surface seems to writhe. Is it trying to adjust itself to me? Suppose it makes sense. You want a mask so bad. If I was as hideous as you on the inside, I wouldn't want to go barefaced either. Hit a nerve? Must be the worst kind of feeling. Being seen. Seen by someone. Can't even hurt anymore. Well, I see you. Heartbreak. Yeah. Big bad. Faceless. Heartbreak. I'm just dumbass punk. But even I could make... Don't flatter yourself. It's not that you're particularly perceptive. I just don't have anything to hide when a corpse is talking. Huh. First honest thing you've said. So what gives, HBK? You're clearly not an idealist. All the terrorism, rebellion theories out the window. Go around killing because daddy smack you around. Your mommy not hug you enough. My father never laid a hand on me. My mother hugged me. A sufficient amount. So what the hell's your excuse? I don't make excuses. What the hell's wrong with you? Less than a minute now. I could spend that time making up a diagnosis if you'd like. Or would you prefer I just come over there and squeeze? How? How many? Another question straight out of the greatest hits. How can I put this? How many times have you eaten bread? Never. Got a gluten thing, bitch. Whatever. Point is, I'm not a collector. This is not my hobby. I do not keep count. This is no code. I do what I want as often as I want to. Do what thou wilt. Whole of the law. Is that it? Don't know what you're referencing, but from where you're sitting, do I really look like the law-abiding type? I bring the mask back down to my face, and again its surface seems to shudder. Also, I like this music going on right now. I like that stuttery bit to it there. Forget it. At least I know you deserve what's coming. I've heard a lot of empty threats in people's last moments creak. They're never that memorable. Told you that mask was a death sentence. That it was spoken for. They called in a huntsman from overseas. Home turf. Huntsman can become anyone. Go anywhere. Kill anything. Supposed to come over and slaughter the rust. That mask was part of his payment. He'll be looking for it. Possession is 9/10 of the law. The hell's that supposed to mean? Finders keepers. Forget it. I don't need to scare you. Huntsman. Hunter. Too much meaning. Lost. Always thought. Better translation was pelt taker. He'll find you. Flay you alive. Wear your skin. Then go and murder everyone. She laughs. Laugh dead. What a face. Should have taken you up on tipping out early. Anything beat dying. Staring at a face. Face like that. So, a huntsman coming to get me? Nah. The dead and the dying make for strong bluffers. And I've seen more than a few of them try their hand at improv. Time to move. Need to scuff things up a bit more. Make this look like an orca shootout then. Well, a visit from me. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool little difference here. The sword was not worth the effort. Lesson learned. But now I have to remove it for this next part. His eyes. Can't tell the model from the outside, but I can make a strong educated guess at the price range. If they back up any data, can't be more than once an hour. It'll be 10 o'clock soon. Gonna need something with some heft to it. Skull. Oh, see no evil. Oh my god. Oh, they really doubled down on these kind of like, those like little moments. Again, adds to the style, the ambiance. I like it. Well, the bat's definitely spent, but his eyes are no longer a problem. And the sword is fine where it is. Not gonna tempt fate and risk nicking myself with it. Weapons are inherently disposable. I can kill with anything, so I never bothered to retrieve one from a dead man's grip. But, might have need for a knife again shortly. So I'll be taking this back, Miller. Had to pry. Why is it that dead are always grasping? It's all the burning issues addressed. Time to take care of the chores. Had to remove my gloves to convince them I could use the dark card. That means I handled all the murder weapons with my bare hands. Obviously, I'll need to wipe my prints off this gun and my knife, but I put my gloves on before opening Creek's safe and cracking Trey's skull. So what does that leave? Oh, shit. Oh, no, I have bad memory. Halt, heads up. Remember everything Morgan handled? No. Let me think. Think. There was knife, the weapons, the tablet. Did she touch it, though? They said they were going to. Better try. The police don't miss fingerprints. I mean... what did she touch? I didn't think this was going to be a thing. If you're sure you've got everything, you're good to move on. Right? Focus. No mistakes. Oh, like, the sword. So if I touch the sword, I should return keys. The cigarette. Ooh, I did touch the cigarette. That was a thing. But I mean... the card. I mean, do I have to... Is there a penalty for picking things I didn't need to pick up? Or, you know, dispose of? Like, should I just be... is there a penalty for me being overcautious? That cigarette was in my mouth. Prints can be removed with a swipe of sleeve, but saliva's no choice. I have to take it with me and dispose of it somewhere far away. Or smoke it down to nothing, if I'm feeling masochistic. Tasted like microwaved sand sprinkled with aluminium, and artificial sweetener. Cigarettes do scatter particulates if forensics finds them, but can't match them to a source. Well, so what? All they know is that there was a horrible spliff here at one point. And it would be pretty funny to see this drawn up as a quadruple homicide drug robbery with a payload of exactly one shitty blunt. Okay, so that was done. Dealt with. Now, return keys. The card. The remote. I did touch the remote, right? Yeah. This is the remote I used to distract the big guy. I need to wipe my prints off of it, of course, but should I turn the music back off? No. It was playing when I first walked in. Best to preserve continuity. And besides, what was it he said? We'd like it loud, screws with bugs. He was right about that much. Little smokescreen never hurts. I mean, I don't want to... The sword. Return keys. The card. The card. Will I be penalized if I click something that I don't need to do? That's what I'm thinking in my head right now. And then would I be penalized if I left something that I definitely should have dealt with? Because as far as I can tell, it looks like there's 3 things left to choose. Return keys. The dark card played its role as bait perfectly, even if it's the reason I'm having to go around wiping off prints. I'll never be able to pull funds off of it, but I might be able to use it again if... Stuck. Creek must have dropped it harder than I realized. Getting shot in the stomach doesn't help with handling delicate electronics. No way I'm gonna risk taking the whole reader with me. Could have any number of pings and strings leading back to the manufacturer, even the Blue Bloods themselves. No, I'll wipe the dark card off and then set the whole reader back on the desk. For all anyone knows, Creek's pod mugged it off some slumber, and we're trying in vain to get beer money off of it. Okay. Okay. So that leaves the sword and then return keys as an option. Something tells me on a gameplay level, it probably wouldn't be select literally everything. Like, it would want me to pick some choice. So I'm just going through process of elimination. I'm like, I'll pick the sword. I gripped the handle with both hands when I brought it down on his neck. Thinking back, I dragged the tip across the floor, didn't I? Shit, probably got Miller's blood on it. That's sloppy. And stupid. Why the hell did I? No, forget it. There's nothing I can do about it anyway. Fingerprints can be wiped, but there's no cleaning agent on Earth that can hide blood from a modern forensics team. And I'm not looking to do encore performance of my reaction to those goddamn fickle bobbies. Okay. Should I just click the keys and see what happens? Just be overly cautious. Click everything. Right, the keys I took off him to open the safe. The Blue Bloods are going to find out I took the mask eventually, but I see no reason to give them any hints. And on the off chance the police get here first, I'd rather they not investigate this as a robbery. All that's to say, you can have these back, Creek. So I dealt with everything. I think everything that was available to me as a choice. I don't see any. I can, right trigger to auto find? I don't think there's anything left. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if gameplay wise it wanted me to deal with everything, or if it was because there was an option to select, I should just pick it. But in my head, as I'm reading through all the options, I'm like, that seems like something I should make sure is dealt with before, like, anyone comes here. Maybe I'm just an overly cautious person. Not saying I have, this is not an admission, but if I was to ever commit a crime, I would do everything within my power to cover my tracks. I can't exactly spend all night on this. Am I good here? I don't think there's anything else. Let me just make sure really quick. I'm pixel hunting. Well, no, I'm clicking auto find and there's no auto find. There's nothing left. I've done everything. I'm just being scared. Yeah, okay. This feels like the scene's been set. Hey, I got some chips. I'm assuming I did good then. The scene's been set. It's a strange sensation, erasing your own presence. So then the only thing I can think of is maybe this is going to be a mechanic or a gameplay element later on, and you maybe have to be more selective, or maybe like you're under like a fake timer or something where you can only pick a certain amount of things, like either an actual timer as the game had said there at the beginning, or like a thing where it just says, oh, there's 5 things and you can clear 3 things, and then maybe your success based on that kind of thing. Maybe that would be my guess. Or even during this, like, since it was just like tutorializing it, maybe, or maybe if I would have left something, maybe I would have had to even gotten more chips back. I don't know. Like I said, as I was going through all those, it seemed like the right thing to, gameplay wise, like, or story wise, even be like, I need to deal with this. A sense of supremely private accomplishment, like placing the last piece of a piece into a milk white jigsaw puzzle and then throwing it in the trash. It's not unpleasant, but I can't linger any longer to savor it. Time to draw all this to a close. Who's back here? Toilet? Thank God for the mask. I can still tell it smells god-awful in here, but it's bearable. Rehydrated sweat and vomit, scents full of adrenaline and sickly heat. Unfiltered, I'd be at risk of getting sick if it weren't for all the blood. Right. What to do with you? Blindfolded, gagged, hands bound above him with plastic ties and linen wrappings, beaten bloody and drugged? These syringes, they wanted him to stay conscious. So this was definitely, unless it's a massive misdirection, this was what the opening scene was depicting. Or these guys torturing this person. Not very popular, are you? Still, you're not dead. And with these kinds of injuries, you won't die soon. Not without a push. That might be the most charitable thing to do under these circumstances. You must have wished for death at least once during all this torture. Too bad. That bat that barred this door is now in splinters. Anyone walking in after me won't realize that this room was locked from the outside. If this captive had somehow gotten his hands on a blade, there'd be nothing stopping him from stepping out of here and butchering his captors. The Blue Bloods will want someone to blame for the deaths of 4 of their men. And unlike the police, they won't bother arresting an innocent man and putting him out on trial for the world to see. They'll wrap things up for me. Hold that for me. Let's start the gun. What's with the... All I did was tuck the gun into your waistband, pal. Oh. Okay. I can see how that would be distressing under the circumstances. Well, you can relax with that. It's not loaded. A few minutes from now, you're gonna wish it was. Out again already? Rest up while you can. When you wake up, you'll want to start running. Nice. Nice. 3:35 p.m., August 14th, 2086. Like I practiced. Erasha. Pardon? Keep working on it, kid. Bar Kitsugi. Kintsugi. Kitsugi? Didn't mean to interrupt you in the middle of training your new employee. How's it working out? It is she, right? Never worked this close with an ad before. She is unbearably forgiving, so I doubt you'll get sued. She's fine. Good at cleaning. Precise with her mixing. Knows a hell of a lot of trivia. Popular with the younger crowd, I think. This is a place with the android bartender. They talk like I installed a new karaoke machine. I didn't know you had a younger crowd. Funny. What's it make you, Grandma? More of a learning curve to her than I was expecting. Did you cheap out on her base installs? It's like I have to teach her everything. Trust me, there's nothing cheap about Sarah. But yes, she can take a minute when learning the ropes. Grin and bear it a little while longer. Once she does find her footing, she'll have you worried about your job security in no time. Keep it up. I didn't have to do you a favor for hiring her, you know? Favor? Plenty of people out there who'd killed work at an up-and-coming bespoke establishment like Bar Kitsugi. I think I hear them pounding on the door now. Technically, legally, you didn't hire anyone. I generously agreed to loan you my android during the hours when I have no use for it. These kinds of arrangements aren't uncommon. Androids can, in theory, work 24 hours a day indefinitely, but their users can't. Parents come home from work, people go to sleep, staff take holidays, offices close for the night. The end result of all that slack is that a lot of androids spend a good portion of their operating time waiting around. So the more enterprising owners loan them out during that downtime, ideally to businesses with complementary working hours. There are plenty of apps and HR software to help arrange it all. But Sarah's apprenticeship wasn't that on the books. After the fallout around David's death settled down, I came to realize exactly how shortchanged I was in our paralegal agreement. She's handy for research and rote work, of course, but she barely sleeps, rarely eats, finishes paperwork at lightning speed. I was spending more time finding shit to keep her busy than I was actually working. And of course, I value my alone time. It was one of those long walks of mine that I recalled Reinhardt was having trouble getting this bar up and running. It takes a village to keep the world's most advanced android busy. Yeah, alone, whatever. Sarah's the one who clocks in and clocks out, does the work, cleans the bathrooms. She's the employee. If she was an employee, you'd have to cover her benefits. Not in my current income bracket. I checked 3 times. Wait, you're not taking her paycheck, are you? It's not a paycheck. Don't lawyer me on this shit. Sarah can't earn a paycheck. She's not a person. She walks like a person, talks like a person, and works like a person. Supreme Court disagrees by 13-0. Yeah, well, Supreme Court's been wrong about that kind of thing before, haven't they? Do I hear a touche? Sarah, tell boss here what you spend your salary on. I have started purchasing cases of wine. What? Wait, that's what those deliveries were? As the wine appreciates, its resale value will increase, especially if I can predict which vintages will be in high demand. Since I don't have a bank account, I can't earn interest in the traditional sense, but if I stay up to date on the sommelier reviews, so you'll resell the wine at a profit, and what do you do with that money? Stop it, you're making her depressed. I did also purchase a cachet of sheet music. What? What for? Practice. You're muttering. Forget it. None of my business. Speaking of business, the place isn't exactly packed. Well, are you volunteering to help with that? There are lawyer bars, right? Right? Where the lawyers go after trials? Kintsugi could be a lawyer bar. Yeah, those lawyer bars are usually close to the courthouse, though. Just don't. Everything's signed and paid. I can't think about what ifs on location anymore. This is a spot that was available and I need a soda water with all the stress on my stomach. Sarah, 10 bar. What are you buying, stranger? What was that? Boss has been teaching me his bar-side manner. He says that his clientele expect a certain degree of maturity when they come here. And so you're using a deeper voice? Is it not working? Please let me know when you're ready to order. It's a well-stocked bar. Got tea and coffee too, if that's what you're into. Nice ambiance, soft lighting, warm on a chill night and cool on a hot day. Now all that's left is to wait for the customers to stream in. Any day now. Oh yeah, I'd gotten the mask. Classical Japanese mask dance drama, no, translated literally as ability, is a world-renowned form of Japanese dance theater with traditions and codified performances dating back to the 14th century, strictly regulated by the Iemoto system, in which a single heir inherits all authority, mastery, and secret techniques of their predecessor. No strict adherence to tradition and seniority have made it difficult for the practice to spread and flourish during the 21st century. Performers wear archetypal costumes and masks and must convey emotion through precise movement. Their masks are masterfully crafted, such as a single static mask can convey sorrow, fury, joy, or terror by merely angling the head differently. Aw, good old Sarah. Apparently go apprentice at Kintsugi. Likes split field diopter, Wing Chun, folding clothes. Dislikes mops, fire alarms, variety packs. Useless talent. I can do a full split, but that is not useless. Confession. I tried to use Adone's makeup and broke a lipstick. Perfect. Reinhardt, boss, Diamani, June 15th. Ooh, just a day off my birthday. Blood type A+, occupation owner operator Kintsugi, likes libraries, boating, fast learners, dislikes marketing, solicitors, signing things, collects ancient coins, pet peeve, web pages that take too long to load, Don't mention speed at which Kitsugi site loads. Oh, that's funny. Did someone leave this behind after their lunch break? Could be trouble if they left anything work-related on here. I'll help them out by throwing it in the trash after I'm done reading. Oh, is it going to be quizzed? Am I going to be quizzed? Okay. We got this. Sirius debuts new fuel named in new lawsuit. Last month, Dr. Sirius made waves in the scientific community for the dozenth time in their storied career when they announced that they had patented the process for distilling a new helium-based fuel, one intended to replace hydrogen in combustion engines ranging from personal vehicles to full-size freighters. Only a few days later, they made headlines again when that patent was leaked to the global net. Now, Proteca, an investment firm and longtime financial backer of Dr. Sirius, has filed a lawsuit alleging not only that Dr. Sirius failed in their responsibilities to protect their investment, but actually allowed the leak to occur. We sat down with Dr. Sirius to ask them to respond to the suit's allegation and to question them about their recurring legal woes. For those who may not be familiar, what makes your process for distilling helium fuel so valuable? In this world, if you're not plugged into an outlet, you're running on a battery or you're burning fuel. Batteries are useful, but they scale poorly. Battery-powered phone is light enough to be weightless in your pocket. A battery-powered plane couldn't generate enough lift to get off the ground. Now, aside from a number of closely guarded national reserves, there are no fossil fuels left. The wells were pumped dry years ago, so after we were forced to adapt in a rather abrupt period of growing pains, hydrogen has become the global standard for fueling long-distance machinery. Therein lies the problem. The plane I took to get here runs on hydrogen. It produces nothing but water vapor. What's the problem? Problem is the laborers fueling your plane before it took off had their fingers crossed the entire time, afraid that if the absolute grounding field failed, one static spark could blow up the whole airport. What makes helium superior? The helium-2 fuel we've developed is not pure helium, to be clear, but near enough, unlike hydrogen fuels. What we've created is non-combustible. You could fire a flamethrower over a tank of it and remain perfectly safe. How does a non-combustible fuel power combustion combustion engines? That's what I'm trying to say. He2 is non-combustible, but in the presence of our specialized catalyst, it can be ignited to generate force comparable to, or in some tests superior to, the horsepower exhibited by hydrogen engines. What's the catch? So far, it's expensive to distill, and the catalyst materials are even more expensive to produce. We have yet to even simulate a profitable commercial flight, for instance. That's a pretty serious catch. Steel wasn't profitable for the Bessemer process. Things panned out for the steel tycoons just fine. Are you hoping for someone else to do that? Improve upon your process? I know where you're going with this, but the answer is yes, of course. I'd be overjoyed for someone to improve upon what we've built. That's essentially what Proteca has accused you of doing, isn't it? Leaking your data intentionally so that others around the world are free to start experimenting with it? I don't think it's legally wise for me to try and summarize Proteca's lawsuit against me in my laboratory. Listen, energy is limitless, cannot be expended. By that virtue, there cannot be a scarcity of it. You'll never have a monopoly of it, and since it is infinite, the correct market price for it will, over a long enough timescale, trend to zero. I don't think I'm being cynical when I say there are people who don't like that very basic math. I'm going to stop you there because you're getting into the next topic, your politics. Do you consider yourself a political person? No. Are you or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? Laughs. No. Do you believe science should be apolitical? Yes. So why is it that you are so frequently invoked as an example of the liberal bias in the sciences? Science is not political. Science is progress, moving forward, learning more about our universe, deepening our understanding of its mechanics, and that process will never be conservative. Science doesn't move backwards. Calling all conservatives backwards is not what I said, but you're free to interpret it as you like. What's not open to debate is this. What makes something science has nothing to do with who works on it. It has nothing to do with class or power or money or even majority rule. Science is reproducible. No miracles required. Miracles are prohibited. If one person can do it, anyone can do it. And so science is inherently egalitarian. If someone feels that because of that science has a bias against them, then that speaks only to their own politics and not the failings of the scientific community too. A long one there. For a pop-sci figurehead, Sirius sure keeps busy. Guess I don't have any evidence proving they aren't legitimately brilliant, but I can't take seriously anyone who guest stars on TV that much. Can't deny they seem to be making progress with new kinds of... Well, it would... Is it specifically talking about renewable, right? More sources of renewable energy, yay, because it's all that issue a century ago if we get boiling water with uranium, but I guess that's why it's a bigger deal. It's serious at developing new fuels. Fuck! God! I'm so dumb. I was gonna pick fuels, and then, like, last second in my head, I'm like, well, it was talking about the thing and the price, the going, dead trending. I read that whole thing, and then I do the dumb. Sometimes I just be selecting things. It's whatever. It's whatever, I'm not mad. It's my fault. Please don't throw that data pad out. Its owner might come back. Perish the thought. Though, now that you planted the idea into my head, a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm so sad. I'm distraught. Ryan must have searched for months to find affordable underground real estate that wasn't flooded, or already filled to the brim with server farms. Putting Sarah on cleaning duty was a good call. If any of the tiling in here starts to grime up, it could start feeling like a subway station bathroom real fast. Oh. It's actually such a convenient, like, quality of life thing to be able to just hit a button and go to the other thing so I don't have to, like, actually try to find the last bit in here. Gonna be honest, I love it. It's a lucky cat. Yeah. Did you say something, Adonai? No. I suddenly got the strong impression that there was something you wanted to say. Don't know what you're talking about. As you say. I definitely did not make a cat noise. Don't put it in the papers that I made a cat noise. I think I'm ready to order. Of course. Nah, I'll take this, Sarah. Go wipe the tables for a bit. No one has sat at them since I last cleaned them. Then pretend to clean them, like a normal employee. Understood. What's got you so tense? Take a wild guess. Did Sarah ask for a raise? Be serious, Red. What happened last night? Your information was accurate, for the most part. A pod of mid-level blue bloods had it. Seems like they were told to sit on it. And were they willing to sell? Nope. Laughed at my price, called me a spoiled Meg, and kicked my butt out the door. They weren't curious where you got your information from? Honestly, no. They rushed me out of there pretty fast once they heard my offer. Were they expecting more company? I got the impression they had work to get back to. Okay. Anything else I should know? Nope. Anything you want to ask me? How did you two meet? The tables. On my second day, you told me not to over-polish them in order to keep things lofty. Lo-fi. Is it that inappropriate of a question? You've lived... I was pausing for the music. Fucking dancing in my chair right now. You've lived in this city for decades, boss, but Adonai didn't move here until she started her apprenticeship at Masters and... If you're gonna tell people my whole life story at every possible opportunity, I'll just shred my resume and start mailing you around instead. How we met, huh? Well, that story's not very good. I'll skip to the end and cut to the heart of our relationship, Sarah. I pay Reinhardt a finder's fee. He tells me where I can get into high-stakes poker games. It's not a lie. Now you know my terrible secret. Disappointed? It's not illegal to gamble. I don't go on my phone and wager my paycheck stubs on point spreads. I gamble. And since I can't afford the entrance fees to one of those anonymous masked ball, cult vibe, blimp casinos the rich go to, I count on your boss here to find me tables to play at. Guilty. So you travel to the lower wards to gamble illegally. Truth be told, I've had my suspicions. Seeing you go out at such odd hours, without so much as your phone. You gonna turn me in? Irashai. Or is it more perm? Irashai? I'm probably saying that wrong. Term, word, different language. Can barely read. Two firm-looking men in finely pressed black suits with shades tinted so dark they must need modded eyes to see from behind them. Despite the subtle color palette, they stand out. It's hard not to enclose that look like that expensive. Clothes with some kind of pin on them. Matching pins. Suit noir. More emphasis on the raw. Oh, thank you. Think I just heard the delivery drones bumping around outside, Sarah. Would you check out the back? Your vintages might have arrived. Go on. Please excuse me then. Afternoon then, gentlemen. What can I do for you? Mr. Diamani. Pardon us for dropping in without first making an appointment. No trouble at all. Still getting the place cleaned up. I'm awfully embarrassed that I failed to realize the property lay within your borders. If you'd come with me to the back, I'd be happy to settle whatever debt. We look like petty landlords to you? If you owed us tribute, you know it by now. My mistake? Well, if you're here for information, I'll gladly wheel and deal. How about you? We're not here to shop either. We're here looking for Morgan. Well? That name ring any bells, Mr. Diamani? Right. Listen, boys, I'm not sure. Sorry. Had something blaring in my earbud. I'm a Morgan, Esquire, specifically. How can I be of service? I mostly practice criminal defense, but I do offer a few other services. You two look corporate. I can recommend some good workplace attorneys. Got a business card somewhere. We're not interested in that. Of course not. Well, I'm flattered that you come all the way here to find me. You must have already tried the home office. We can set something up for... You need to come with us now, ma'am. Hey, thought you said there was nothing I need to know. Business day's over for me, gentlemen. Can this matter wait until tomorrow? Does it look like it can? Great manners, this one. Time sensitive, then? My rate will have to reflect that. Send us the bill. We can afford it. Music to any lawyer's ears. So, who is we, then? You think you're funny? Compared to you? Morgan, these fine gentlemen are from House Icaria. Halt. Heads up. On occasion, information you went out of your way to collect in previous episodes will unlock new dialogue. Oh, okay. Okay, bringing in old episode stuff. It pays to stay informed. I'm familiar. You are? I've seen their name in the papers. Oh, I get rewarded for my previous work. Plastering their name all over uptown opera houses and homes was sick or whatever. Though I didn't recognize that name when those blue buds were cursing it last night, so maybe that propaganda's working. Doesn't matter how generous they are, galas. They're still the richest and most powerful criminal organization in the city. Rich and powerful. Why bother with the criminal qualifier? Sorry. Might I ask about the nature of this engagement? Situation is developing, Mr. Diamani. We appreciate your patience. That's not what you want to hear. So I gathered. Your presence has been requested at the family estate, ma'am. For business or... Icaria are always business. Shall we get you your coat? Such gentlemen. Knew the suits were just for show. I can see myself out just fine, though. Adonai, what's going on? Are you going somewhere? That's why they pay me the big bucks. These men are very athletic. Perhaps I should come with you? If they want to arm wrestle, you'll be the first to know. Call me when you get there, yeah? If I'm actually in danger, I won't even be conscious when I arrive, but I appreciate the thought. Boss, who are those men, really? New clients for Morgan, really. Hopefully. Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. Because if House Icaria puts her on retainer, she'll be able to buy you as much wine as you like. But what do you mean by house? Alright, pay attention. If I'm gonna lecture, might as well try to teach. Start with ice. You want a lot of it, below surface area, so never use crushed, okay? Starts to melt into the liquor, waters the whole thing down. Understood. 1.5 ounces of vodka. And what do we look for in a good vodka? Smoothness. Correct. It's the mark of quality. making the bitter go down easy. So, the nobility. You know what that is? Historically, the ruling class, as enforced through economic or military might and maintained by familiar relations. Juice of a full lime, look for a little spring and a consistent color across the skin. Nobility, old money, is another word for it, and the older it is, the slower it moves. Only so much wealth you could accrue in one lifetime, collecting from serfs and selling horses. But the Industrial Revolution comes along, shows the world what real wealth acquisition looks like, then you get new money, which always dwarfs old money. Inflation and split inheritances shove away at any generational wealth that's liquid. Now, new money and old money, they don't like each other. Doesn't new money eventually become old money? If the old money can help it, no one ever becomes old money. Triple sec, 1 ounce. My family was new money. Tried to make the transition, join the right clubs, shake the right hands, make the right marriages, laugh at the bad jokes. Bad jokes can be entertaining in their own right. Not the kind of bad I'm talking about. I don't understand. That's alright. You shouldn't need to know. But what do you mean your family was new money? Times changed. About 30 years ago, recession, depression, civil unrest, political upheaval. Most people, they were so scared they could barely think about tomorrow, let alone next year. But a decent man's chaos is a cruel man's investment opportunity. So while everyone else was panic selling off everything they could to buy food and water, a certain type of personality was buying, for pennies on the dollar, as it were. Give me a peel from that lime, as shallow as possible. Any white you see is just bitter. 1 ounce of gin. They were rough years, but they passed. And at the end of it all, some were left standing with a lot more than it came in with. New money. A new kind of new money. The new nobility. Neobility. If you're writing a think piece. And that term we definitely have seen before. Data pads we definitely have seen before too. Let's clear these. Whoop. There's that. Okay. Unabashed oligarchs and devourer barons. When the governments of the world tried to re-privatize the industries they had taken over with emergency powers, they were there to snatch them. And they started at the bottom. Steel, fuel, grain, machine parts, medicine. Here enters House Icaria. Or that's how they exited. They went into the Red Decade as the Icaria cartel, drug smugglers, and extortionists, thieves and murderers. They came out as one of the richest, most respectable names in the country. Not that they actually stopped doing any of that thieving and murdering, mind you. Put the top on tight and shake. So they are a crime family, like the mob? This is the 21st century, kid. It's muddier than that. House Icaria is not literally one family, not even one race or creed. They're simply the strongest criminal organization in the city. On paper. But not in practice? Practice is what they're lacking. Haven't had to get their hands dirty, haven't had to maintain a presence in the lower wards in years. They make their profits from investments, blackmail, and more than a little insider trading. So, they're criminal, yes, but their muscles atrophied. Time for a taste test. Ugh, that's not right at all. The hell did I forget? Boss? There must have been other criminal organizations 30 years ago. Others poised to take advantage of the changing times. Yeah? So what did the Icaria do to set themselves apart from the rest back then? Stupid. Most important ingredient. Drop of grenadine. Oh, that looks nice. The Lady Maria. It's beautiful. It's nothing. We'd use a frosted glass if this was for a customer. Looks like a ruby in the right lighting. If you do end up helping Red work with the Icaria, don't let the warmth of their golden furnishings confuse you. All that glitters is cold. Oh, what bars. We're just about to hit the 2-hour mark, so let's go ahead and save there before we get to the next scene. Because I do want to play a couple hours of Titanium Court. So let's get that. Whoop. Save. Double save for safety. Perfect. I love the setup there. Oh, I love this episode screen. Look at that. Morgan's just so cool. Morgan, don't call me Morgan of the devil. So cool. Also a good setup, I think, for this episode. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I'm gonna throw. Let's do BRB. Here we go. All right, I'll be back shortly, and then I'll get Titanium Court set up, and we'll play that for a couple hours or so. So, I'll be back shortly.